Can I just say I am absolutely delighted to be here again for the second year because it allows me to, it gives me the opportunity to give you an overview of how this SNP Scottish Government is continuing our commitment and investment and support for agriculture in Scotland. But before doing that, I want to take a brief moment to acknowledge the publication of the Farm Profitability Review by Minette Batters. Is a very welcome contribution to the ongoing future policy discussions, which I and my officials will carefully consider, and noting that many of the references made to Scotland are generally where our policies are being used as evidence of success. For example, the establishment of an English version of Scotland Food and Drink, which in Scotland has been enormously successful for our food and drink sector, or indeed the many examples of how we can learn much from the policy successes of small independent nations such as Ireland and New Zealand. But let me be absolutely clear here in Oxford, as I am every time I speak to audiences in Scotland. Agriculture matters enormously to the Scottish Government. Our farmers and crofters are the absolute bedrock of our rural communities and a cornerstone of our national economy. And that's why Scotland has a clear vision for agriculture. It's a vision that recognises the central role that agriculture has in growing our economy, tackling the climate and nature challenges, and producing food sustainably. It's a vision that understands how agriculture underpins our £19 billion food and drink industry, which for many years was the fastest growing sector in Scotland's economy and a sector which exports over £7 billion. It's an industry that I am immensely proud of having been a part of for so many years, and one that we as a government recognise has such a vital role in Scotland's future. And as Minette so very eloquently put it in her report, food production and caring for our environment are two sides of the same coin. I could not agree more. And it's a coin that this Scottish Government fully understands the value of. Our approach is to work in partnership as Team Scotland. We approach everything on the basis of how we bring industry and stakeholders with us. In stark contrast to the policy choices in other parts of these islands, we've committed to continuing direct funding payments for our producers. We've set out that 70% of funding will be delivered this way as we develop our future support schemes. We live in a time of profound uncertainty and volatility, from commodity price shocks to extreme weather to global events and unrest, all of which underlines the importance of our continued investment in direct support. But our programme of reforms to existing support schemes are already underway. These range from the introduction of new enhanced greening requirements to the calving interval conditionality for the Scottish Suckler Beef Support Scheme. These changes, amongst others, are designed to deliver for the environment and for productivity. There will be no big bang moment in Scotland. There will be no cliff edges. This is a rolling programme of carefully considered incremental changes developed in partnership with the sector, and it is designed to deliver a steady progress while ensuring stability and certainty for businesses. Our producers are already starting to establish baselines on soil, on biodiversity, on climate and on efficiency as a base expectation for support. The whole farm plan approach supports producers to know what is right for their business and for them to make the choices that help them to reach good outcomes, both for their business and for Scotland as a nation. These approaches are designed to reward our producers for their part in helping to produce food in ways that work for the farmer, work for nature and for the climate, and whilst being the bedrock of our vital food and drink sector. Over the last 2 years, we've allocated around £5 million of support to the fruit and veg sector in Scotland, but that's a process that has now been removed, and a support scheme that's been removed in England. But we continue to recognise the important role that it has in providing strategic support to our fruit and veg producers, allowing them to innovate, allowing them to be more productive and efficient, and it's a scheme which I very much want to continue with. Our vision is grounded in science and driven by innovation. Through our Knowledge Transfer and Innovation Fund, we are providing £2 million to the Monitor Farm programme. The 9 participating farms have been driving force for innovation, collaboration and knowledge sharing, and that is helping to shape a more resilient and sustainable future in Scotland. There is a phrase that women speak face to face while men speak shoulder to shoulder. And that peer-to-peer learning and discussion is of enormous value in terms of knowledge sharing, but also in directly supporting each other mentally, particularly when times are hard. And that's something that I'm sure that every farmer and crofter listening to this understands the value of, and I certainly do myself. In addition to that, we are supporting the continued delivery and development of the My Herd Stats platform available via Scot EID. That's an ongoing support that reflects our clear commitment to backing a livestock sector with science-led digital tools that drive production, efficiency and that boost profitability. Now, having the kind of in-depth knowledge and understanding of livestock is a gift that livestock folk have, some by nature and some by training. But being able to see beyond what's in front of you and understand the data around an individual cow is worth its weight in gold. So in conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, where we have the powers, the Scottish Government is committed to supporting the sector now and in the future. Where those powers currently remain reserved at Westminster, we will continue to work as Team Scotland with our Welsh and Irish counterparts to demand that our shared concerns are heard and acted upon. Because at the heart of the vision for agriculture is people. They are the lifeblood of our rural communities. Now more than ever, we need our farmers and we need to support them to deliver that shared vision. By working together as Team Scotland, we will continue to build a bright future in agriculture, one which our farmers feel valued, one that they have confidence and they believe in and they can invest in. We will continue to build an industry that looks to develop our next generation into farming, not just farmers who are already in the sector, but new entrants just like I was myself. They're going to be the innovators of the future, and we've got to give them the confidence that this is an industry that they can believe in, backed by a government that believes in them. That is our vision for a successful industry in Scotland, ladies and gentlemen, and it's one that I am determined that we will continue to deliver. Thank you very much.